It is a featherweight showdown in Sin City. Welcome into MMA Live Extra. I'm Jim Vasquez. Fifth-ranked featherweight Dustin Poirier will take on Conor McGregor at UFC 178 in Las Vegas on September 27th. And joining us now to preview this fight is Dustin the Diamond Poirier. Dustin, we appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule.
No problem, man. Thanks for having me.
McGregor, Dustin, has been hyped as the next big thing in UFC, but you're younger than him and you've already had 10 fights inside the octagon. How big a factor will that big stage experience play in this fight?
I think it's going to be a big part of this fight. Like you said, I have 10 fights in the UFC, 2 in the WEC before we moved over to the UFC, and I've been in some big fights before. This is my third time on pay-per-view. And, I know how to prepare and get ready for these fights.
He's looked strong in his 3 fights in the UFC, but this will be his first bout against a ranked opponent. How will you plan to attack him?
Let's just say this, man. This is his first fight with a ranked opponent, but really this is the first fight he's ever going to be in the UFC. These other fights he fought, they weren't on my level, man. I'm very prepared, and he's going to be in there with a different animal.
So as you well know, there is a ton of hype behind him. Do you feel it's justified?
I definitely think he deserves a little bit of the hype. He speaks well, and people like to see it. And he goes out there and performs pretty well too. But definitely overhyped, man. I think he's getting a little bit too much of it, and it's time to slow him down a little bit.
Dustin, he's been notorious for talking a bit of trash. Will you be able to block that out and focus on the task at hand?
Yeah, man. I'm a professional, and I know what matters. And what matters is 15 minutes, September 27th. And that's what I'm preparing for. All the trash talk, the stare downs, all this means nothing to me. The only thing that matters is going out there, prepared and performing and getting my hand raised, and that's what's going to happen.
Speaking of trash talk and stare downs, you were a witness to a fight that broke out between John Jones and Daniel Cormier at the UFC 178 Media Day in Las Vegas. What was your take on what went down?
I was right behind the curtain with the fans. We just got off the stage. I was signing autographs, taking pictures, and I didn't see the initial shoving, but I heard the belt hit the ground, and I turned around and the banner was already falling down. It was crazy, man. I couldn't believe my eyes that was happening. But that makes these guys really dislike each other, and it's gonna be a really good fight. A lot of hype behind it, and I want to see it.
You're currently on a 3-fight win streak. Are you as good as you've been ever in the octagon?
Yeah, mentally, physically, I feel like I'm the best I've ever been. I feel like I'm maturing as a fighter. I'm learning every day. I'm surrounded by a great team, a great group of guys at American Top Team. Me and my wife recently bought a house, and I'm there full time. So every day I'm working with the best guys, and I have 10 fights in the UFC, and I feel like a young veteran. I feel like I'm getting better, and my better fights are still far ahead of me. But I'm prepared to take on this challenge. All
right, Dustin, so after it's all said and done, after UFC 178, why will you be raising your hands as the winner?
I'm going to finish this guy. Whether it's on the feet or on the ground, I submit him. It's up to him to pick his poison. I'm going to take this fight where I want it, and it's going to be in my favor. And but that being said, I'll be prepared to fight wherever it goes.
That's UFC featherweight Dustin Poirier. Dustin, thanks for the time and best of luck on September 27th.
Thanks for having me, man.
That'll do it for this edition of MMA Live Extra. For more on all things UFC 178, keep it locked to the MMA page right here on ESPN.com. I'm Jim Vasquez, and thanks for watching.